bed dying. Right, so I come back to school, I'll fit in anywhere. I don't belong anywhere. I've lost about 100 pounds, so I'm not even a big kid anymore. I'm just a very, very normal person. I have no confidence, I have no vision I want to do. I'm not a gifted athlete, so I'm not doing anything there. And all my friends have already moved on in what they're doing. I kind of said, I was in the hospital when that was happening. I'm lost. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I get through that year, the 9th grade, I played 0 sports. Remember, I played 13 years pro, reserved for the top 1% of the world of what they do. Either you're a physical gift or you're some sort of child prodigy. I was neither. I didn't play any sports in the 9th grade. Just a normal kid. 10th grade, I didn't play sports. I had no vision. I had nothing that drove me. Nothing that got me fired up to get going in the day. Just sort of got through life. I wasn't going to quit on myself, but I had no reason to do anything. I wasn't the kid to get into trouble either, because that would draw too much attention. Just kind of hiding out. Just kind of getting through. Until finishing up the 10th grade, my parents were smart enough to kind of go, listen, what do you want to do? Like, my parents were great. They were kind of ones saying, look, we're not going to tell you what to do, but you got to do something, and we'll support it. And my brothers have played football. I'd loved sports my whole life, but when I got out of hospital, I was terrified to go out and play these sports where these elite athletes were doing amazing things. And the more I was removed from it, the harder it was to go, yeah, let's give this a shot. I'm heading into the 11th grade here. I went to a football powerhouse school, big time program, okay? I didn't have the confidence to do it. I was so fortunate that our high school football coach knew our family, coached some of my brothers, reached out to me. I said, Angus, why come play football? This is the end of the 10th grade, so I'll be heading into my grade 11 playing on the senior team. What do you mean? You think I can come play football? Sure, come play the team. Nobody really invited me to do anything since I got out of the hospital. It gave me a shot of energy, and all of a sudden I felt like, okay, sure, I didn't know what else to say. Yes, Mom. I said, yes, Coach. I don't know. Sure, I'll come out. I remember I went home that night and said, Mom, Dad, I want to play football. And I don't know what really went through their head, but they're just kind of like, that's great. I'm going to do something. Wonderful, right? And you ever had a great idea, and when you first think of it that night, it's already mapped out and it works? And then you get the next morning and nothing works. Yeah. And it's way harder and you kind of forget about it or whatever, right? Remember, that first night, you get that huge energy rush, this idea, and you've made $1 million now in 2 minutes thinking about it. And you've changed the world. And now you're the greatest person of all time. And you're up all night because it's unbelievable, right? And nothing can ever go wrong. And this is great. Then you wake up the next morning, you sleep in or whatever. And you don't have that kind of energy anymore, and it just looks a lot harder than it was. And half the time you just sort of forget about it and move on with life. Well, that's what happened to me. I get this rush. I'm going to play football. He thinks I can do it. Well, I'm going to tell my parents, I'm going to go be a football player. It's kind of this naive, delusional, whatever. But it was good for that night. And then, we went to spring camp, and that was okay. Nothing really happened in spring camp, so it was just kind of teaching educational. And then we get ready for fall, grade 11. I didn't really play any sports, okay? At this point, I'm trying to remember now. I'm maybe as tall as I am now, maybe I was a little shorter. I was probably 175 pounds. Nothing exciting on any level. Just sort of a normal guy. And I come out. My coach, great guy. And we sit down, we're talking, getting ready for spring 2-a-days, training camp. And kind of whistle goes, practice starts, and I start heading down. I said, well, Coach, where do I go? He goes, well, just kind of stay there. Like bench, right? Just stay here. Okay. For how long? Well, we got to go practice now. Yep. Just stay there. Okay. I'm not going to play. I realized quickly all my great dreams, I'm just going to be a guy on the team. Doesn't mean I get to play. And I forgot this, and I tell people all the time, I think he went to everyone in the class every day. Come play football, come play football. It's a sport that wants numbers. They want as many people as possible out there. You need them for drills and whatnot, and you need volume. Okay, so I was volume. I was numbers. Like when they do movies and they want like extras? I was like an extra. You need them, but you don't really use them. You need them though, right? So I'm an extra. Well, I don't know where this came from, but maybe once the power of the vision was still lingering, I said, well, Coach, I can't believe I did this. I want to play. I want to go on the field. What's it going to take? This is the last lesson that I learned of the 3. You build your vision, you learn you're never going to quit on yourself, and you ask for help. And here's the truth. Once you know what you want to do, or you have an idea what you want to do, and you've built this resolve not to quit, you got to find out what it's really going to take. Okay? And the bigger the dream, the more reality they're going to throw at you to tell you why it's never going to work. You're going to get 100 things that it's going to take that you don't have. Life is going to test you. And the bigger the dream, the more you're going to get reasons why. You know why you'll never make it? Because all this stuff. And then right away, that vision, that thing shrinks right down and you quit. Coach, I want to get on the field. In fact, this is what I want to do. I want to be a football player. What's it going to take? You got to find out what it's going to take, but here's the real magic that separates people that make it from the people that live their life with excuses. Once you find out what it takes, only 100% focus on what's in your control. Because the easiest thing is to grab the things that you have no control over, and you've built an excuse for the rest of your life. I would have, but I didn't have this. I would have, but I didn't have this. And my parents didn't do this for me. And there's a million of those. Which ones could you control? And if you put all your energy in those, you do it better than anyone else, you'll be just fine. So I sit with my coach. What's it going to take? Well, Angus, I've been coaching these guys since the 8th grade. You know, we have a program, a system. You are too far behind. I watch the game, I watch the sports, I'm a fan, but I never played. Big difference, guys. No matter what they tell you in the stands. Big difference between being a fan and knowing what really goes on the field. I didn't know. And he told me, look, I don't have the time to give you one-on-one coaching to bring you up to speed. I'm sorry. Yeah, you'll pick some stuff up. Maybe we can get you in later down the road, but it's going to be hard. These guys have been doing this for many years. There's reason number one. Maybe if my parents put me in football when I was younger, I'd be here. That's a good excuse. Maybe when I get sick, it's my appendix that screwed me. I would have been playing in the 8th grade, I would have known. There's a million good excuses, but none of them are going to get me playing. What could I control? Okay, coach, you're right. I'm going to date myself here. This is pre-internet. Yeah, I'm old. This is pre-internet. Give me everything you got. Books, VHS tapes. Maybe beta, no, VHS tapes. Give me everything you got. Football one-on-one coaching, coaches, they got all kinds of stuff. Right? They love having libraries and all this stuff that they never read anyways, but it looks good in the library, right? Now it's coaching books. Sure, kid, here you go, dust it all off, right? Who's ever gonna do that? This guy. I built a vision. I know not to quit on myself. This is what it takes. This is what I can do about it. I'll do this. How much talent did it take for me to study this sport? Any ideas? Zero. How much money did it take for me to read the books you gave me and the VHS tapes you gave me? Zero. I studied football like you would not believe. And I had energy because I had a vision. So that was Sunday mornings before anyone got up, I'm reading it. Saturday nights when I got home after the games, I'm reading it. When guys are all partying, doing whatever. That's what I'm doing. In between classes, before school, after school, any moment I had, because this is what I had to do and I could control this. I had control. I retired after 13 years and my GM called me one of the smartest football players he'd ever coached. He said I had a high football IQ. I still don't know what that means. I don't know what kind of IQ test they give you to find this out. I really don't know. But bottom line is I was their extension of a coach in the field and I knew everything. That's not a 48-inch vertical jump or 8-inch wingspan. That's not hardware, that's software. I worked at that. It was in my control. It took zero talent. Because I had to. Coach, what else? I'm learning this game now. I want to get on the field. Well, this is a big, strong sport. You're probably going to be a lineman because I'm not very athletic. I hate to tell you guys, linemen, that's just what they do initially. Then you prove them wrong later, but they kind of just dump you there. That's just what happens. And then you prove them wrong. Because that's just not the truth, but it's their easy answer. I'm not strong enough. Okay, I'm just a normal-sized guy. I'm not strong. Okay. Maybe I would have been a good football player if I was stronger. Well, I'm in the 11th grade now. I can learn to work out. Okay? So I went to my offensive line coach, who was my English teacher at the time. And, he was a GA at University of Notre Dame when they won the national championship in 1988. He knew his stuff. He was a former offensive lineman, played a little pro ball. I said, Coach, teach me how to work out. Fundamentals. Give me a basic program. You know what I did? Here's the secret. I did it. I just did it. Every day for the rest of my life. Zero talent. Zero cost. I just actually did everything I was told to do. Exactly as the coach told me, because I needed help. I got help, and I applied myself because the vision was there. When I came out my senior year, I bench pressed 485 pounds. I squatted over 700 pounds. I was the strongest player in the evaluation camp draft. I wasn't strong enough to play in the 11th grade. This is what I could do about it, so I did it. Or I could have complained. And I did it. Every day for the rest of my whole career. It became part of my life. I could control that. Same thing, guys. This goes on and on. Not fast enough. Well, we had a track coach. I'm never going to be that fast, but I can get faster. Give me some drills. You know what I did? Did them. When I came out my senior year at university, they clocked me in the 40 time. I was the fastest person at my position. I was 311 pounds. Everything's relative in life. It's the fastest lineman at the camp. Okay? But I wasn't fast enough. It became fast enough. I could do something about it. Worked at it. Okay? All these things kept building up. Finally, I started getting in the field. I got on the special teams. And I sort of worked my way out a little bit. And I was a grinder. Got in a little more. By my 12th grade, I was starting as a two-way lineman. And I was becoming a good player. And I remember telling Coach, I've told you I'm going to do this. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to be a pro football player. And he gave me the one that stumped almost all of my friends. He said, Angus, I hate to break this to you though, but you don't have the grades. Be a pro athlete, you got to go to college. You don't have the grades. I have a ton of friends that love telling me they woulda, coulda, shoulda, but they couldn't get to school. Why didn't you? Why didn't you just work harder? You can get good enough grades if you really care. I didn't have the grades, so I went to every teacher and I said, look, what do I got to do? I'm not asking you to do anything for me. What do I have to do? I don't know what to do. Tell me, and I will do it. And I did it. I got into university by about that much. But I got in because it mattered, and I could control it, so I did it. I don't like school. I still don't. I have a degree because I had to be eligible for football, and I got it. And that's all good. And I did it. I actually did it. Finally, I remember finishing my senior year, and I said, Coach, I've done this all. He goes, look, Angus, I could never be more proud of someone, but you know what? I don't want to burst your bubble. You're not going to make it. I just want to prepare you. Pro athletes, you're not going to make it. Why? You're not tall enough. What the hell am I going to do about this? I tried. Those programs don't work. All that stupid hanging stuff, it's not going to make you taller. Save your money. Buy a nicer t-shirt, it's not going to work. And that's when I learned that golden rule. There's going to be a million reasons why you can't make it. You can focus on some of those and hold on to them for dear life, and you'll have good excuses. Really good. There's some great excuses out there why you didn't make it. And they're very valid. And people will never fault you for that excuse. But you still didn't achieve your dream. If you shift all of your focus to only the things that are in your control and not waste 1 second of your life or 1 ounce of your energy on things that you cannot control, you will blow your mind how far you can make it. I was very fortunate enough to grow up in the same time frame, just literally maybe an hour away from Steve Nash. You guys know Steve Nash, 2-time NBA MVP? He's a Vancouver boy too. Okay, Steve's about 6'1", 180 pounds, 2-time MVP in the NBA. You kidding me? What Steve did was work on everything he could work on to the point that no one had better ball handling skills, no one had better vision in the core, no one had all the stuff that he could work on, and he's 2-time MVP of the NBA. He had no business doing any of that stuff because he didn't care what he didn't have, he cared what he could do, and he did it more than anything. It works. It works in sports, it works in every level of life. You have your dream, your mission. Because if you don't have that, this other stuff's too much work. It is too much work if you don't have a mission and a vision. You have that. You have to have that. You understand not to quit. If your vision's big enough, you won't quit. You have to learn to ask for help. Everything I need to do, getting stronger, learning the game, I lean on experts. I don't know the answers, they do. Reach out to people. That's what they're there for. You have an amazing gift now with the way social media and the internet's made. You can reach out to anyone in the world now and have communication with experts everywhere. I used to have to write letters to the strength coach, University of Washington. Can you help me out? And he'd write me back. But that was a slow task. Now you can reach out to anyone and get resources and get help anywhere you can. Use it to benefit yourself. Okay? But really, the bigger your dream, the more you're going to get every reason why you will fail. Life loves to tell you why you're not going to make it and laugh at you. And you're going to get good ones. Okay? But the real trick is, don't waste 1 second on those and focus on what you can control. You'll make it. I remind you, I played 13 years pro football against guys that were such better athletes than me. It wasn't even funny. I played longer than all of them. Because all I did every day was keep working on what I could do. What I could do. And it works. I made it through my high school years. I got a scholarship to a local school. Our local school, Simon Fraser University, it's a local, good academic school outside of Vancouver in BC and Canada. We play in the US League though. Okay, so we played US football. We played Washington, Oregon, and Northern California. So I think I'm going to make this. Like, I've really proved people wrong here. Okay? I'm going to roll through the rest of my life, but really speed it up to give you how this works again and again and again. I get to university, they redshirt me my first year. If you guys don't know what that means, it basically means go get bigger, kid. This year's not going to count, so just go get bigger. So, I went and got bigger. You know one way to really get bigger? You eat everything. And you got to realize I have an obsessive compulsive nature. You can figure that out by the way I go after goals. I mean, I was eating 10,000 calories a day.
Oh.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna do what I can do. I thought it was in my control, so I'm gonna do this. And I played my redshirt freshman year, but I'm getting bigger and bigger. I'm trying to get to 300 pounds because I think 300 pounds is what it takes to be a pro football player. I went into university about 225, 230 pounds. So I'm trying to put on 70 pounds as fast as possible. Not a good move. Not smart. No, I don't advise it. Not that fast. So after my second year, I'm just stuffing my face and lifting weights and whatever it takes to get as big as I can. And because my appendix had blown when I was 13, it had ruined, damaged a lot of my internal organs. I had real damage on them. And my liver has been shot since I was a teenager. So when you're consuming 10,000 calories a day, there's a tremendous strain on your stomach at the best of times. But you do that with some really damaged internal organs, you do real problems. So one day, my stomach literally blew out again. And all of a sudden, I have ulcers all through my bowel lining. Right? And I now have to get rushed to emergency, and now they're right away checking me for what's called Crohn's disease. Really nasty. Really nasty. It means you have a lot of bleeding and ulcers all through your stomach, and all food irritates you, and you can't digest much, and it's a really, really painful existence. Not the best way to be a pro football player, or be a football player, or be an athlete of any kind. So that year quickly becomes a write-off. Long story short, I missed 3 seasons. I move home, told never to play football again. I lose 100 pounds. I didn't work out for 28 months, not even a push-up. In and out of hospitals, getting tubes down my throat, in bad places, investigating, checking, medicational trials, diet issues. Football is done. It's over. You got to learn now just to sort of get through life. And almost for a moment, I let my vision die. Almost. But here's the thing, that you guys not many were too fired up to explain what you wanted to do. Here's a real trick. People need to know what your vision and mission is. It's like my mom knew to pick me up when I was about to quit. Your friends need to know when to step in and when they know what matters to you. If they don't know what matters to you, how can they be a friend to you? How can they help you when they have no idea what drives you? And my family knew how much this meant to me, and they knew how hard I struggled, so they weren't going to let me throw in the towel. You guys know anything about sports? You missed 3 of your 5 university seasons. It's tough sledding. You don't play a sport till the 11th grade, and you don't have the athletic ability. That's real tough sledding. So I remember I hit a point in that 3-year period where I'd been through 2 gastrointestinal specialists, I want to say 3 naturopaths, a couple traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncturists, you name it, I did it. I mean, I was searching for solutions. How can I eat food without crippling pain? How can I leave the house without having some control of my stomach? How can I do anything that's going to be comfortable and livable and let me go on? And I almost ran out of answers, and I finally found someone that said, look, we're going to take an extreme measure. That's fine. What can I do? We're going to rebuild your diet from 0. What does that mean? So, what can I do? Well, this person gave me an option I could do. I ate boiled chicken and rice and water for 6 weeks. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I think they gave me a multivitamin too. And the stomach kind of settled down. And then we added a banana for a week. Did that work? Okay, it can stay. Then we'll add a yam for another week. Is that okay? I spent 12 months rebuilding my diet, 1 food at a time. Cause problems, eliminate it. Cause problems, eliminate it. It was okay, keep it in. I spent a year of my life, I was 21 years old, rebuilding my diet from scratch. 12 months. I could do that. It was in my control. Or I could spend the rest of my life complaining, why did this happen to me? But my vision is here. I'm not going to quit. This is what I can do. So I did it. And I made it back. You guys that don't follow sports tightly, it might not mean that much to you guys that follow football will get this. I made it back to my senior year. I made it back 295 or 300 pounds, and I played. I was the 5th All-American in my school's history. We only won 2 games. We sucked. I played well. I had a chip on my shoulder like you wouldn't believe. I'm going to prove to everyone that I can do this, and I did it. You have no idea the feeling you get when every corner you turn, you get smacked with another reason why you'll fail, and you beat it back because you have a vision you believe in. You're not going to quit on yourself. You're okay asking for help, and you do what you can do, and you keep moving forward. I got all the way, as I said, I ran fast, and I lifted well, I prepared myself well, and you guys that follow sports, after that you go into this, what's called an evaluation camp. It's a meat market. Pro sports look at you and say, okay, let's do a tryout today. Let's see how fast you are, let's see how high you can jump and run, so we're going to see who we want to select. Well, I looked good on those things. I mean, I was short, And I hadn't played much football, but I lifted well, I ran well, and I did well in these stupid little tests they make you do to see if you're smart. And shockingly, I become a first-round draft pick. The Toronto Argonauts took me with their #1 pick. I go 4th overall in the draft. I played a year and a half of high school, played my freshman year, my senior year, missed 3 years in between, and really hadn't played much, and I was the shortest guy in the draft for a line. I drafted #1. I remember kind of laughing at my parents, like, oh, I really made this. This is crazy. I really fooled somebody here. Guys, I realize now, as you will think this, once you make it to your dream, you will think you have no business being there. What am I doing here? This is crazy. I didn't think this was actually going to be real, and here you are. But the higher you get, you know, life starts off when I was young, they throw jabs to see if you're going to fall. But you get higher, they become haymakers. #1 draft pick, I go to camp, I figure I've made it. Guys at Fall Sports get this. If not, you realize this is probably the most demoralizing thing that can happen to you. I'm their #1 pick. I get cut training camp. I'm their #1 draft pick. They tell me they made a mistake. I wasn't good enough. They cut in training. I never played one game for them. I played 2 preseason games. Those don't count. No matter what people say they played preseason for a team, doesn't count. I get cut training camp. You go from here to here in half a second. Lucky for me, I had the guts to always tell the people that cared about me what my vision really was. So I'm down and you feel sorry for yourself, and oh, screw this. No, we know what your vision is. We're not letting you quit. This is what you want to do, right? Yeah. What can you do about it? You can go cry, do stupid things, or we can do something. What are you going to do? So I had an agent at the time and said, look, we're going to get on the phone right now. We're going to start calling them. I can do it. What kind of talent does it take to make phone calls? Maybe some, I don't know. Some guys are better, but whatever. It takes no money either. Start phoning the teams, all the teams across the country. I want to play there, what is it going to take? I think I just annoyed them enough till Montreal and Wet said, sure. Montreal goes, look, we'll take you. You're going to be on the practice roster, which means you're the lowest on the totem pole. That's okay. I know how to climb. I'll get on that pole and I'll make my way back up, don't worry. Practice roster sucks. Okay, you're the guy that you're not really on the team either. You get to wear the shirt, and you get to practice, but in game time, you're like in jeans and a golf shirt. You're not really on the team. So I go to practice, and I remember kind of going, okay, I'm revitalized. My dad said, Angus, what can you do? Do everything you can do. So I can get to practice early. I can stay late. I can work on my craft. I can study film. I can do all the things that I know matter. All the little things that people don't like to do, but I can control them because they don't take any talent, because I don't have the talent. I did that for 16 weeks. Never got on the field. Never got dressed. Never dressed for a game. Then I get called in the office, I'm like, great, I'm getting cut again, this sucks. He said, no, Angus, we're going to be trading you. I remember saying, I'm from Vancouver. The BC Lions, this team, they're a Vancouver team. I remember telling him, I said, I hope I'm going home to BC because at least I get a free flight home. Like, I'm sick of this. Like, I just want to go home. This is nuts. Yes, they're trading me home, my hometown team. Finished the season those 2 weeks on BC Lions practice roster. My rookie year in pro football, I've been on 3 teams, I've never played snap. It's a really bad career. Like, it sucks. I'm a journeyman, I don't even have 1 game jersey to show for it. I've been on 3 teams, at least in the 3 best cities in the country, but still, never played. And I kind of build up my confidence, I'm going to go back and show them next year. And I go out, we get ready for training camp, my second year at the BC Lions, I'm going to become a player this year. But I gave it everything I had, and I still wasn't quite good enough, and I'm going to get cut again, I know it. This is going to be it. And this is where you've got to learn to do whatever it takes. You got to be a bit of a hustler. You got to do whatever it takes because that vision burns. You're not going to quit, and you're going to do whatever's in your control. And again, I'm sitting there and I hear them talking, I hear the coaches talking, that they're not happy with the long snapper. For those that don't know football, long snapper is the guy that bends over and launches the football back 15 yards so the kicker can catch it and kick it. You know, they just bend over and chuck the thing back 15 yards. They're not happy with it. Here's my chance. I can long snap. You can long snap, Reid? Yeah. I couldn't long snap. I never long snapped in my life. This is pro football. Yeah, I can do it. Perfect. Be out early for special teams tomorrow morning. Okay. I call my 63-year-old mother. Coming over tonight for dinner, Mom. We got to long snap. No YouTube yet. Well, maybe, but I didn't know about it. We were in suburban Richmond, 20 minutes outside of Vancouver, nice suburban area. Nice. We got a front yard, not much of a backyard, so we got the front yard, so the cars drive by and the neighbors are there. And there I got. I'm a professional athlete, sort of. Haven't played in the game yet, but they know I'm the local boy playing. And I got my 63-year-old mother playing shortstop back there as I am just launching knuckleballers all over the front yard. And cars are weaving out of the way. 5 hours later, I felt good enough to show up at pro practice tomorrow morning early with the special teams unit. My poor mom, she's the best. And I'll tell you what, I figured it out enough to get by. I mean, you could blow your mind, you guys that follow us. I was a 300-pound punt snapper. It was stupid to begin with. But whenever. It was an opportunity to make my way on, I did it. And I was good enough, and I worked hard at it. And then I got my opportunity. There was a veteran center in front of me that was retiring, and they groomed me, and I made my way on the field as a center. After that, I started the next 10 years. Okay, we won multiple All-Stars, and we won a couple Grey Cups, and I went on and lived my dream. And I'm going to tell you right now, as you can imagine from my story, I probably had 8 or 9 good opportunities to say, this is crazy, I'm done.